is meet day. It is meet day. This is the first time I'm not lifting like first thing in the morning. I can never sleep the day before meet. 4 hours of sleep, and then I have to wake up at like 5 a.m. or like even 4:30 a.m. But this time, I have been chosen to be in the primetime session. That's at 6:30. So I've had a day. This is the first time I've gotten more than 4 hours of sleep. I got like 10 hours of sleep yesterday, and I haven't competed in 8 months. The last one was C National, so I am nervous. And then during the summer was, I think, the worst patch of training I've ever had in my life. I was getting like 6 hours of sleep a night. I was trying to juggle like a couple jobs, and I just did a really horrible job of managing everything in my life. My training just tanked. I got to school, finally things are stable, I'm feeling good, and then what do? I have a mini tear in my rotator cuff, so I couldn't even like bend my arm back for like a good 2 weeks. And this was 2 months out, which sounds like a lot of time, but that's really only 2 training blocks for me. So I got back into high bar, I got back into bending my arm back, you know, I do my band exercises, everything. And it is definitely a frustrating feeling, especially when you have like an online platform and you feel pressured to like do the best that I've ever done in my entire life, every single meet, and like surpass myself. And I think today I'm going to PR and everything. When you calculate like 8 months to like amount of like pound progress that I'm making, it's hard to not be mean to myself and say like you could have done more, like you should have learned how to manage, because I can't change anything and it's just more data. So my next meet after this one is going to be nationals. So I've gathered all data. I know how my body responds to stress now. I know how my body responds to things. I know what works for me and I know what doesn't now. That's all that matters. So today I'm really excited to just have fun on the platform, because the only reason I'm doing this is to like literally just have fun competing, because there's no actual need for me to like qualify for anything right now. I just want to see my friends, I just want to have fun, I just want to remember why I love this sport. None of my friends can make it because it's like a far drive, just like junior year, and like everybody's just so busy, and you know, obviously I'm not gonna go out of my way to like ask somebody to drive like 2 hours out of their way to come watch me like pick up something for like 4 hours. This prep, the theme has been just like, I have to learn myself, I have to rely on myself, and nobody's gonna make me do it. Gonna try to get my mind off things and thinking that people don't like me because people aren't coming, because that's not true. And it's gonna be great. It's gonna be fun.
Are you going now?
Yeah.
Oh. My name is Carmen Winstead. I'm 17 years old and I'm very similar to you. Did I mention that I'm dead? 3 years ago, my friends pushed me into a well.
That was really good.
Huh?
How do we meet? I'll say it, because we met at C-Cup. You were like all by yourself in the corner, and like I tried to put my stuff next to you, and you like didn't even look at me. You just looked down, you were eating, and you moved 2 inches away.
You know what that's called? So you know what that's called? You know, that's called crippling anxiety.
And now you don't know what you would do without me.
That's so true.
Like probably nothing.
I'd probably pass away.
Chris is here, even though Chris got food poisoning yesterday from Kraft mac and cheese.
Okay, now just selection this motherfucker.
I want to see how she does it.
How I do what?
You're like
Day in the life of a hyper ADHD.
yeah.
Spend a day with me with my severe ADHD.
Can I wait? Oh my gosh.
This is recording.
I waved it.
So all of your mean comments?
I ruined your content.
No, you made it better.
I like get curious and I look at who's following you and I get astonished.
You have so many followers.
Dude,
Put a lot of work into it.
subpar powerlifting memes follows you. Like
That's pretty cool.
that's sick.
They're all talking about.
It's so funny, dude.
Come on! Up and out! Keep it steady! So to take, my heart's become too cold to break. No, I'm that's how you do it! Nice job! Green white lights!
Squats just ended. I failed my second one on depth, which has never happened before. And we tried to contest it, but they said no. But I sunk my third. I was like, I'm not failing squat. Like squat is like the one I feel most confident on. So I was like, no. And I got it. So at least that's good. Ash is the reason that I can have blocks for my warm-ups right now. The whole
USAPL, BSW, outfit of the day.
necklace?
I don't know, my friend gave it to me. Majuri, I think. Fitbit.
Sophia, what did you end up squatting?
384 pounds. I don't know how many kilos that is. Something kilos.
That's like what, almost 3 times your body weight?
10 more pounds. 396 would be 3 times my body weight. Probably like 394.
Wow. Whatever, it's bench time. I'm gonna have somebody standing there on bench like this. This is what happened last time.
I remember seeing that. Are these blocks?
5 centimeters, baby.
You're mad, right, Sophia?
I need more caffeine.
Out of UMass.
You did good. What, 70 kilos, right? 150, 154. Pulling a house today.
Pulling the house. Oh, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
281 pounds. 2.5 times body weight. With a smile. Three white lights.
Save your money, man. Save your money, too.
Okay, now that I'm home, I went 2 out of 3 on squat. I missed the second squat, which was at 237 pounds because didn't hit depth, which scared the shit out of me because I've never gotten lights on depth ever before. So I wasn't really anticipating like missing that. So I finished it. I was like, felt super easy, great. I look at the screen and it's like 2 reds. And I was like, fuck. Because I was like, if I miss this third squat, like, you know, the momentum of the meet is gonna go like shit because I know myself. And I'm like, if I miss this third squat on depth again, or I just miss it in general, like I'm gonna be really mad at myself. So I retook that same weight, 237.5. I didn't PR in squat. I really wanted to load that 247 despite my injury, despite everything. I really wanted to. I benched 154, which in my last competition I benched 143, so that's a great PR. It felt super easy. Just bench in general is just feeling great. And then deadlifts, I had 281, which moved like really easy. Overall, I'm happy with the day. I don't feel as excited as I normally do during meets, which is interesting. Despite PRing on 2-3 of my lifts, like I didn't really PR by much in my mind. There comes a point where when the standards for yourself are so high that like you just never meet that standard, and I think the more I do meets, the higher that standard gets for myself. Like this isn't anyone else. Like nobody was like, oh, you didn't do that great. Like everybody was so supportive. It was just me in my mind being like ruminating over that second squat. Even though I got my squat, I was like, oh, like depth, like how could I let that slide? Why didn't I like squat deeper during my warm-ups? Why did I pull my rotator cuff, you know? But I'm happy it didn't like completely ruin the rest of my meet. Just the past month and a half has been interesting for me. I've started ADHD medication for the first time in my entire life. I feel like amazing. I feel brand new, but just the past month and a half, I think I've just been, I don't know if it's a medication thing or just me, but I have a lot less patience with people. I want to talk to people a lot less. Like today was like, every single time on meet day, like I find myself being like super friendly, super chatty, super like extroverted, which normally I'm not. Like people at meets think, or in online think that I'm just like this extroverted person, but like other than the gym, like I am just not that at all. It's just the gym I think brings out the best parts of me, and I think that came out today. This prep has taught me a lot about myself. I mean, that summer, 3 months of training was my absolute worst period of training in my entire life. I hated the gym. I recovered like shit, you know, getting horrible sleep every night. If I had just planned out my summer a little bit better and like not tried to do everything all at once, you know, maybe I could have done better. But when you hold yourself to a high standard, there's always that question in your mind of, I could have done better. Every single powerlifter, great powerlifter that I know has this exact mentality of like, oh man, it wasn't good enough. It's a never-ending list. And every other meet, I've been like, this is the best day ever, like blah, blah. I think I'm realizing now that the standards that I'm holding myself to, there comes a point where it just adds an extra layer of stress that doesn't really, like, past the point, there's nothing I can do. Past the point, I just have to say, fuck it, I've done what I can. I got second place in raw 52 kg, so that's 114 pounds, and open. And there was only 2 of us, so I got 2 out of 2. I just wish that I felt more, like, euphoric, like I usually have in other meets. They're not all gonna be the best meet of my entire life, and I have to accept that. Progress sometimes just isn't linear. But the next meet is Collegiate Nationals, and that's gonna be the most, it's gonna be the toughest prep of my entire life. I say this every single time. I say every prep is gonna be the hardest prep I've ever done. But this one, I just really have to make sure this time that I plan out and I don't try to do every single thing. Because I think sometimes I can do it all, and past years I've learned as much as I wish how I do one thing is how I do everything. It's just, I have to prioritize. I have to keep my line in check. It means, you know, my school comes first. So if that means training slips a bit, that's okay. And I can't just center my life around powerlifting forever, even though I love the sport. I want to go pro someday. Like, I'm so far from it, and there's so many people catching up to me, but it's a game where I can really just outlast people. And I'm just excited for Collegiate Nationals to just give it all I have. Because it's very easy, especially towards the end, to be like, oh my God, like, this is just so relentless and boring, and my body hurts, and who even cares about this sport, and like, what am I doing to myself? And, you know, people on the internet telling me that I'm stupid. It's like, it just gets to you sometimes. So I needed to compete again to remind myself of what I love, which is competing, and which is talking to people at meets and supporting other people at meets and just feeling like a part of a community. Because at college this year, everyone's busy. I don't really get to see people much anymore, even my own roommates. Like, everyone's just doing their own thing, and it gets really lonely. And just to be around people who love and have committed themselves to the sport that I've also committed myself to and that I also love, it really just makes me feel like, okay, I'm not alone. Like, people support me, people care about me. It means so much to me to be around this community, and even just like the messages that like you guys send me, I read every single DM. It's easy to forget the numbers and be desensitized to whoever is seeing your stuff. Because if you go down that road, it's like, oh God, there's a lot of people watching, I don't want to post anymore. But that comes, I feel like I don't make an impact. Days like today, where somebody messages me like, hey, you've really inspired me, like, I've really been keeping up with your prep, like, I really want you to succeed and do your best. Like, it just reminds me that there are people watching and there are people supporting. I mean, I haven't posted on YouTube in a while. I've been taking breaks from posting on Instagram and TikTok. I mean, I love making YouTube, and I made it a goal for myself, like, I am gonna consistently upload, and like at school, and, you know, I have an editor now, I'm gonna work with him more, and I haven't posted in like so long. There's a big theme around, like, doesn't matter, just post, stop thinking about everybody and just post, which is what I used to do when I had a lesser following, was like, I'm just gonna post whatever I want to post because nobody's probably even looking at this. And now people start looking at this, and now I'm like, oh my God, everybody from my hometown, everybody that I know in college, every single person who I've had awkward interactions with. I mean, just every bad phase in college I've had. This year I feel like a completely different person. I feel so much more grounded in myself and trusting in myself. It is so easy to go down that path when I think about who's watching. Even if people don't come up to me, if people don't like me, they're still watching. Today it's like, even if none of my friends could make it in person because it was a far drive, they still like had watch parties, people were still texting me throughout my attempts, and that really means the world to me. And my coach got food poisoning yesterday, and he still was able to make it and show up today, even though I probably know he feels like doo-doo. But I'm saying this publicly so that I fucking do it. I want to post more, I want to create more. Powerlifting, being an influencer and powerlifting is corny and you shouldn't post in the gym and this and that, but that's not the reason why I started. The reason why I started was to be something for somebody that I have never had. I have never had somebody to look up to that had a similar personality, who had similar issues, you know, like brown girl with ADHD. Like, I've never been good at anything, just beginning it. I was never good at powerlifting when I started. I was never good at school until I worked on it. Like, I love you guys. If you watch this whole thing, thank you. And I am grateful for every single one of you and this community. So, thanks for watching.